My name is Tre Azam. I'm 30 years old and I'm ashamed to say I've never voted. But I'm not alone. 5 out of 10 Brits choose not to vote every election. 7 out of 10 Muslims choose every election not to vote. And yet we seem to be angered and frustrated with the rise of groups such as the British National Party, EDL and the National Front. I'm here to pose a question to you today. How much of it is our fault? I'm trying to convince myself that I should be voting, and I should be voting for a party I believe in, which was the Conservative Party. But now I'm asking myself, you know what, they're just the same as everyone else. That poster was just ridiculous. It's got a poster of Gordon Brown, big smile on his face, and it says, what is it? I've doubled the national debt, vote for me. You think Saatchi and Saatchi would come up with a campaign that doesn't actually make you think, oh, why don't I vote for Gordon Brown? Oh, and did you know he doubled the national debt? What that poster says to me is we're not good enough to tell you how we're going to fix it, so we're just going to tell you what the other guy did wrong. Do you not think maybe that's partly the problem with politics today? I still have a few little doubts in my mind, and I'm hoping that through the discussion, the debate and the journey, I'll be able to strengthen my resolve and then hopefully take it upon myself to help others. So this is all part of our political quest to try and find out the truth behind the validity or the permissibility of voting. And also, you know what? Why don't we vote? That's really what we're trying to get from them. We're trying to find out why they feel that they need to disengage, and really to get their opinion on what they think would happen if all Muslims disengage from the political process. Is it really going to help our situation? If I'm going to find out how much ethnic minorities really are to blame, I need to find out more about the BNP. So I'm going to go online, have a look at some of their videos, see what they really stand for, and to find out, you know what, are they as anti-Muslim as people make out? It's a massive anti-Muslim pay. I mean, do you know what I find most amazing? Is the reoccurrence of, is it Anjem Choudhury's face? We've got a Muslim guy on their website, on their YouTube page, promoting the anti-Muslim sentiment in Britain.
Not only would we bring our boys and girls back from Afghanistan, we would also resolutely refuse and will absolutely oppose any attempt to involve British troops in a war in or against Iran. It's none of this country's business.
It's amazing how they have changed the face of the party. He is actually quite a good speaker. He seems to speak in the interest of the people. And he's using that kind of strategy of we're not all about immigration, even though the first 5.5 minutes he said, I'm not going to mention immigrations. But to be really honest, this is why I think people are getting sucked in. I think sometimes people choose to ignore what the hidden messages are and just focus on what he's saying in the hope that they might find someone who does care about the British people. But I don't think this guy's got anything British in him at all. I just found a video clip titled Sikh Friends of the BNP Advises on Muslim Issues, Part 1 of 2. This is so sickening, because I don't know a single proper Sikh person go out and join the BNP. I can't actually think of any even remotely intelligent ethnic minority or white person for that matter. They really are heavily anti-Muslim. And it seems that it's quite a clever little ploy, because the thing is, when you hate Muslim people, you're not technically a racist. I actually just picked up the BNP as generally a bad party for Britain. I just thought, you know, this is something that's not good for us. As a Muslim, it wasn't a particularly Muslim thing. It was more because I'm a little bit brown. But I never really realised how heavily anti-Muslim he was, and the fact that they've gone as far as to get Sikh people to come on and talk about how dangerous Muslims are for Britain. Look at that. 1987, 553 votes, right? 10 years later, 1997, 35,832 votes. So you can see that they've been steadily growing, 500, 7,000, 35,000, 47,000, but this is the incredible bit now, right? So this is where it starts to get a little bit scary. In 2005, the British National Party contested 117 seats, and they pulled in 192,746 votes. If they've quadrupled in 2001 to 2005, and that's by going up for, the maths is pretty equal actually. They went for 33 and they got 47,000. Then they went for 117, so effectively 3.5 times more seats. And they managed to effectively quadruple the amount of votes. So that means if they're going up for 339, they're effectively timesing that by 3 again. There is a chance that the BNP will break 500,000 votes this year unless we do something. Now, if that doesn't scare the British people, then I don't know what will. And if it doesn't scare the British people, it should sure as hell scare the Muslims, because we're the ones they don't seem to like. Do you know what? I can't handle looking at Nick Griffin's face anymore. I need to do something about this. We need to do something about this. There's no point sitting here. I need to pack my bags, hit the street. BNP are anti-Muslim, then the Muslims need to be anti-BNP. We shouldn't need people like United Against Fascism and Hope Not Hate, which are very, very good organisations out there to try and stop the BNP. We should be doing this ourselves. It's quite sad, actually. I'm 30 years old and now I'm looking to do something. But you know what? It's never too late. I'm going to get involved and I'm going to make a difference.
The BNP are a nationalist party. You can tell that, of course, from the title, that the N in BNP. Yeah? They have a nationalist message, and their counterparts on the continent, like Le Pen in France, doing the same thing. Their political strategy has changed under the present leadership of Nick Griffin, who's trying to make them look semi-respectable. People who you could vote for. These aren't just ruffians. These are people who've got something to say which chimes in with quite a lot of what British opinion is thinking, not just white British people, but also people who are non-white who have actually lived here for a long time.
Are ethnic minorities and non-voting population to blame for groups such as the BNP?
I don't think that the ethnic populations are to blame for the rise of the BNP. But what you can argue is that if they were mobilised more effectively and took more part in the political process, then the BNP would be reduced in influence and have much less chance of making an impact and gaining inroads.
The extreme right parties have come into power mainly because the majority of the community has not voted. If we look especially in the northern regions, in Burnley and the northwest, they came into power in the councils and in European elections because the voter turnout rate was very low. And therefore, this is a clear indication that Muslims must participate and change that so that they make a pivotal role.
You know, as far as I'm concerned, you'll be accountable for choosing to ignore that tool. If there is a way for you to potentially be making a positive change to the world around you and you ignore it.
What if Allah asks you, what did you do? You had the opportunity. And then, you know, if there's like 2,000 Muslim voters and half of them don't bother to vote, but you get 1,200 BNP guys voting, and then you complain afterwards that, you know, they're not letting us, giving us planning permission for a mosque, they're not letting us build an Islamic school.
What you are doing is satisfying those individuals that are vehemently against Islam. Unfortunately, we have a lot of Islamophobes in Britain right now.
If we don't vote, just like the European elections, there's a real risk that the BNP and other fascist elements will once again have the influence.
Our religion teaches us, and as human beings, we can see in the world every little bit counts.
Muslims abstaining, it gives other parties, such as the BNP, a greater playing field in which to make their case.